DeepSeek harness took only a few minutes to build a complete tax-hailing app like Uber for a budget of less than $2. But it still had its own share of weaknesses. So in this video, I'm going to break down everything. What is DeepSeek harness? How to install it? And how the interface looks like? And how it compares to Claude Code? And I'll walk you through the exact test I ran to build a full taxi hailing app. But just in case you're new here, I'm Joe. I teach AI engineers how to leverage newest AI models and tools to improve their workflow. I know you're one of us. Do not forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss important updates. Let's get into it. So what exactly is DeepSeek harness? DeepSeek open sourced their agent harness, and it's basically an open source alternative to Claude Code. It's a terminal agent that reads your code base, runs tools, and writes code autonomously. But here is the thing that makes it different. Everything inside is a replaceable plugin, including the agent loop itself, so you can replace the model, the sandbox, the file system layer, and the shell execution. Literally everything. Claude Code is powerful, but its control flow is locked. DeepSeek harness gives you control back. That's exactly why it hit 165 stars in just a few days after launch. Now let's talk installation. This just runs one command in the terminal, npx at deepseek-ai/dsh web. If you prefer cloning the repo, you clone it from GitHub, then you cd into the folder, then run pnpm install, then pnpm run build, then launch it with pnpm dsh web. Once it spins up, the web UI opens up at a localhost 127.0.0.1.3080 right in your browser. The first thing it does, it shows you a notice and then asks you for your API key. You can get your API key from platform.deepseek.com. You will also need some credits loaded up, but the good news is DeepSeek has the lowest credit price starting at $2.12, which makes it very easy to test without burning money. Once the API key is in, you're ready to go. When you open up on the local address, the first thing you notice is that this is not a terminal. It's a full web app, very similar to Claude Code Desktop. A clean side-by-side comparison feels familiar if you've used Claude Code before. On the top left, you have the DeepSeek harness logo with a harness badge showing your version. Below that is the new session button, which starts a fresh agent session. Under that is the workspaces section, which lists all your previous sessions by name. And at the very bottom left is the settings, where you can configure your API key, model preferences, and agent behavior. The main canvas greets you with Into the Unknown and a preview badge. You have two things to do there. Choose your workspace, which is basically a folder picker so the agent knows which project to work on. Then you can pick your operating mode. Speaking of modes, there are 4 modes. The standard mode, which is the default, it gives you full feature set including file editing, shell execution, file and web search, planning, sub-agents, and multi-step workflows. Then there is also a headless mode, where you give it a prompt and it executes without a UI. This is very useful for CI pipelines and automated tasks. And because the API is OpenAI compatible, you can also point it to any OpenAI format endpoint, including Anthropic, GLM, or any other local model you have running. Now, how does it compare with Claude Code? Both give you a full coding agent experience. Both can read your codebase, plan, execute multi-step tasks, and write real production code. The UI feels similar side by side. It's session-based, trajectory view so you can see every step the agent takes. But here is where they diverge. Claude Code is powerful, there's no question about that, but the control flow is locked. You work with what Anthropic gives you. DeepSeek harness is fully modular. You can swap out any model, the sandbox, the agent loop, or any layer of the stack. On top of that, the cost difference is significant. Claude Code rate limits have been getting worse, outages happen, and you are paying a premium. DeepSeek harness lets you run the same class of tasks for almost nothing. Now let me walk you through the actual test I ran. I have a standard benchmark project I use to test every Claude Code alternative. It is a full-stack Uber-like web application called TaxiApp. I created a very detailed prompt and saved it as original prompt.md. I dropped that file into Taxi app workspace and asked DeepSeek harness to read it first so that we could brainstorm and build. The agent opened the trajectory view and started thinking through the project. I could see every step it was taking. What I found out was Python 3.11 and 3.12 were available, Docker was available, but Postgres was not installed locally. There was no Google Maps API key. So it flagged all that upfront before writing any single line of code. I answered the tech choice questions, and then it wrote the complete build. From there, it scaffolded and built Taxi app, a full stack app with rider app, a driver app, an admin panel, using WebSocket, JSON Web Tokens, and a live map. And the total cost was under $2. That's honestly where the conversation is headed. AI tools should not cost a premium to do what free or open alternatives are already doing. I'm a big fan of Cloud Code, but the open weight models are setting the pace right now, and DeepSeek harness is a real proof of that. If you've tried it, drop a comment below and let me know how it's working in your workflow. Finally, one like, one subscribe gives me one more step forward to bringing you great content. Thank you, and I appreciate it.